off-season, Zach?
It was good. It's been really exciting to get back into things. Had sort of a nice break before we got back into our little block before Christmas, and then I feel like Christmas time's just always a good time to catch up with some family and friends and sort of enjoy with the people that you care about most. So I'm feeling really refreshed and excited for 2025 now.
What did you get up to?
During this Christmas period, I just sort of had Christmas with the family, and then sort of just hung around really, like plenty of beach days. Feel like everyone's sort of got the same idea in their head that time of year. It's always busy around this area, but I was just sort of focusing on refreshing as much as I could and spending time with some family and stuff, which was really good.
Your captain once said the Christmas period is one of the most important and into a season. What have you done over the break to stay ahead of the game against other players?
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, because sort of everything is becoming more and more condensed with the earlier start, playing in the opening round, and I feel like the practice games are going to come around really fast. I think that sort of Christmas period is really important to keep sort of the things that you put in practice before Christmas, keep them going, to feel like you can roll into this time of year and sort of continue everything and keep looking to improve and get ourselves in the best shape possible as a team.
Lawson was taken pretty late last year in the draft, and I know you've got a few late draftees this year as well. Any of them sort of caught you by surprise? Any names that you've sort of been impressed by in the last, I know it's still early days, but anyone so far?
I think they've all been going really well. I mean, I don't really want to individualise too much. I think they're all fitting in really well into the group, which is sort of the most important thing. They're sort of bringing their own personalities and bringing their own individual strengths as players, but I think just the main thing is fitting in to the group really well. And we've got a number of coaches and players who have been a really good help to them so far, and I think they'll just keep looking to build across the pre-season, which is sort of all you can do when you are a young player.
What about Lawson? I think you're forged a pretty close relationship with him. Can you just talk us through that?
Yeah, I get along really well with Lawson. He's obviously fitted into that level really well at the back end of last year and showcased some of his strengths. I mean, his composure's at a really high level, I think, and I think that's the great thing about him, that he has sort of a really good idea of the strengths that he can bring, and he does a really good job at showcasing them. So I've really enjoyed working closely with him, and he's someone I'll continue to learn off myself. I mean, some of the things he did last year I sort of admired myself, so looking forward to continuing that sort of bond with him.
The new recruits, Bailey Smith, Jack Martin, are the high-profile ones, particularly I think Bailey. How's he fitted into the group, and how have your interactions been like with him so far?
Yeah, they've both fitted in really well. I mean, I think that's what I was sort of saying about the draftees before, that they've sort of found their sort of place in the squad. I mean, as people, and that's sort of the most important thing when making a change. It can be a bit challenging, but they've fitted in really well, and they've both showcased why they are really good players early on in the pre-season. I think they've been able to showcase some of the things that they're going to bring this year, and that I'm excited to see myself. So that'll just continue to grow as we get sort of more into that match-specific stuff, I'm sure. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what both of those guys can do across the year.
I think Bailey was sort of pushed out of the midfield of the Dogs, and I think it seems like he wants to be more of a pure midfielder. Is that the vibe you're getting from training so far, even though it is early days?
Yeah, I'm not too sure exactly where that'll fit. I mean, I think that when you are a player like Bailey and you've got a number of strengths you can bring to the game, I think flexibility is something that we can really utilise, and I'm sure he'll play a number of different positions for us and do it at a really high level for us. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that evolves, and I think, just when you have some of the strengths like someone like him has, I think it'll be a real weapon for us.
When's the time to start those conversations about where he plays and how you link up together? Is it too early now, or has it already happened?
I think it'll just be something that will evolve. I think that's probably something a little bit more for the coaches to probably work out and work with him on. But I think we've seen with a number of guys that it sort of can evolve across the pre-season. It can evolve once the games sort of come around as well. So we're not exactly sure how that'll look just yet, but I'm sure it'll be something that will continue to change and that we'll continue to tinker with to try and get the best sort of make-up across the whole team.
It was around this time last year that Ollie Dempsey was starting to make a name for himself on the track, and you saw what he did. in 2024. Is there anyone that you're in a similar boat this time around, or anyone you think will have a really big 2025?
I think we've got a number of guys who have played sort of a handful of games at the level now that you can tell are really hungry to keep trying to forge their way. I think some of those guys have been really impressing, sort of without individualising too much. I think those guys look really hungry, and you can tell that they're moving really well. And then obviously, I mean, some of the guys that set the standards as well, some of the more experienced guys are in really good shape as well, and pushing everyone along. So there's been a number of guys that have been impressing. It's sort of hard to point out just one, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, in particular, some of those guys that just played a handful of games to really try and step up and grab it with both hands and have a real impact for us this year.
Connor O'Sullivan in his second pre-season, obviously a high draft pick in 2023. How have you seen his second season, and what do you think he can produce this year?
Yeah, he's a really, really good athlete. He's someone that is sort of in that boat where I think he played one game last year and looks comfortable at the level, and he's going to be a really good player for us in the future, I think, as he continues to develop. And he's moving really well along with some of those other guys, and really pushing the training standards at the moment. So I'm sure he'll be someone to watch early in the year, and looking forward to seeing, because he is so flexible, a number of different roles that he can play. But yeah, I'm sure he'll be someone that will be really keen to impress, and he's been looking really good.
Zach, do you count down days to games? Obviously, it's 5 weeks today to the match sim, and basically 50 days until opening round. Are you one of those people, or do you just take each week as it comes in pre-season?
I probably wouldn't know the exact number of days, but I know it's going to come around really quickly because we are playing in opening round, and we've got some practice matches that kind of keep coming around earlier and earlier, which is exciting. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting right into the match play sort of stuff and the games, and blowing the cobwebs out a little bit. And we're really excited by getting to probably showcase a number of guys in those games to see where the whole squad's at. And then obviously when the opening round does come around, we know we've got a big challenge ahead of us, and we'll be looking to start the season really strong, as I know every other team will be. So yeah, I think the challenge that presents is really exciting for us.
On a personal note, obviously the list has transitioned over the last few years with Selwood, Hawkins, Tui, guys like that. Do you start looking around going, gee, there's a lot of blokes that haven't been here as long as I have? That's sort of reality kicked into you a bit that you're a decade here now?
Yeah, it does change pretty quickly. I mean, over the last few years, we probably had a number of changes of guys who have had a huge contribution to the club. I mean, someone I was thinking of the other day was Tom Hawkins. Like, he's been at the club for such a long period of time, and had such a big impact on the club as a whole. And when you do lose guys like that, it's obviously challenging, and you can never replace them. But there's guys that are stepping in and looking really hungry to try and fill the void and sort of try and I guess keep guiding the club in the right direction, which has been set up by a number of those guys. So yeah, it does change pretty quickly, and that's just sort of the reality of footy.
Who has stepped into the void? Who has tried to fill that void for you? Tom Hawkins. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a number of guys sort of in that middle mix of who have played some footy now that'll look to try and fill the void in terms of leadership and that sort of thing. But I mean, when there's guys like Hawk, I mean, I don't think you can completely sort of step into his shoes and make an impact as much as he has. But there's a number of guys who have been able to step up and I guess try and keep leading the club in the right direction on field and off the field.
You mentioned Cam with the Forbes, and you spent a fair bit of time with Cam over the off-season. How is he going from not only a physical perspective but mentally as well?
Yeah, he's going well. He's I've been able to get a number of sessions with him sort of over the Christmas period and through the off-season as well. Something that I really enjoy, and with some of our other brothers as well. I enjoy getting some training sessions in with them. But he's going well. He's progressing well, and I'm sure he's really looking forward to bouncing back off what's been a frustrating couple of years. But yeah, more than anything, I'm just looking forward to hopefully having him out there and playing some footy with him again.
How do you feel your place this year compared to last year, prelim final run? But this year you've got a couple of new players. You've lost obviously Walk, but how do you feel you're set? You better this year than you were last year? How do you feel about it?
I'd like to hope we'll give a good crack at it again. I mean, every year sort of presents something different, and you probably don't know until you start getting into the early rounds of the season. But I'm really confident that we've got the list again to compete, and we've got a number of guys who have been performing really well at training, and we've still got a number of really talented players across the whole league, like that, as still star players of the league. So I'm really confident that we're gonna look to start the season well, and just keep building from there.
How difficult was that end of the season, in particular for Cam? Obviously, regularly TBC on the injury list, a bit unclear about his timeline, and then he does get back in that VFL game, and just doesn't make that at the AFL your final squad. I mean, how difficult was that time for him?
Yeah, I mean it's frustrating. It's probably frustrating when you can't get on the field and play games, because that's sort of what you're here to do, isn't it? To look to help the team get some wins, which I think is the frustrating part. But he's been really positive throughout it all, and really hoping that some of the things that have affected his body in the last few years can be put behind him, and he can get back to some really good form and help the team, which I know he can. So I'm really hoping to see that this year from him.
Is he back in full training now, and is he hoping to be there for the practice games and round one?
I think that's the plan. Yeah, he's moving around well, and he's progressed his stuff even sort of since the end of last year, and he's feeling good. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Just keep putting himself in the best shape possible to perform for us early in the year and to set himself up for a big year.
You seem that related to your game every year. I think I'll probably ask this question every 12 months, but what are you sort of working on to take your game even further than you have over the last 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, I think for me, it's sort of always trying to build on probably some of my individual strengths, just keep trying to take them to a new level. And then obviously there's things that you always work on sort of as a whole sort of defensive group, or a whole squad sort of thing, which as a team we'll look to work on. But for myself, I've just been looking to work on some of my strengths, and then obviously been working hard on trying to get my body in the best shape possible to move around and feel like I can cover the ground decently. So my body's feeling really good at the moment, and I think just banking those sessions this time of year is really important, just to keep building on where you're at in the preseason.
10 games here too, which is the first for nearly 30 years for the club. The players must be rapt to have that extra one here as well.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We love playing here as a group, and I'm sure the fans, we've got a pretty good turnout today to our open training, which is exciting. But I'm sure that the whole town's looking forward to getting along to all of those games, and they're always a huge support for us. So it's something to look forward to this year.
Who's been the best performer so far this pre-season? Every club's got one to watch. Who's one to watch here?
I feel like probably someone that's not a secret and had a really good year last year. I think Max Holmes has been looking really well, the way he's been moving, sort of in some of the running we do, and when he gets the ball, he's obviously got that electric pace, which has been something he's sort of just been able to continue. And it's probably a bit of a boring answer because he had such a good year last year for us, but he's someone that sort of always impresses me.